to think that these gun grabbers are making it a requirement that if you want to be part of their gun control group, or at least high up in it, you have to have hypocrite in your resume. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Katie Stone, and this is Stone Second Sense. If you are new here, consider hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel, and maybe even sharing with a friend, because here we don't gatekeep the Second Amendment. We all know that the gun grabbers and the gun controllers and the gun control groups, there's a lot of hypocrisy that surrounds them, but I'm starting to think it might actually be a requirement. Let me show you why. We Are Charlie Kirk started out as supporters of Charlie Kirk, saying that we are your legacy, basically. We are Charlie Kirk, I am Charlie Kirk, you're Charlie Kirk. That was how this started, right? Well, I don't exactly think that that's what's happening here. Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I don't really think that was in, I want to make sure that your legacy is remembered in the best way possible type of thing. But let's read the comments, because, I mean, let's get a little more context. One of the comments here says, "Dang, you killed it. Just like him." Gross. Moving on, the next one said, "It's addicting to watch these." She responded to, "I'm gonna do it even better. Just wait." Another one said, "My favorite part of these is going to be comments and finding the meltdowns, but it seems your audience is pretty solid. You ate this up, by the way." Which she responded to, "I got a few upset folks, but the fun people outweigh it all. LMAO. Thanks, friend." Yeah, once again, if you know that people are upset but you don't care, don't really think that's a supporting Charlie Kirk's legacy type of thing, but you let me know what you think down in the comments. Maybe it's just harmless fun. I mean, making fun of people that get publicly assassinated in front of their children, that's just for fun, right? These people are sick. Goes on, there's some more additional comments. It says, first one says, "Diva, you're so brave for doing this in scrubs," which she responds to by saying, "Thanks, queen." The next one says, "Oh, you ate. So many people do it wrong, but you win." She responded to, "Thank you. Still gotta go harder." The next one says, "Low energy entry. You have to flip to do fireworks like Erica for max effect." Which she responded to, "Guys, I promise I'll become Erica Kirk or Benson Boone next attempt." Again, I'm not getting the vibe here that she is doing this to support Charlie Kirk's legacy. I don't know about you guys. Like I said, you guys let me know your opinions down in the comments. You might be thinking, "Katie, why in the world are you even covering this? Why this is a little girl doing a dance?" Has a lot less to do with the dance and a lot more to do with the hypocrisy of the gun controllers and the gun grabbers and the gun control groups, because does this not look like that same girl? Well, this right here is Marabella Johnson. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. And her name doesn't really matter, except that it does, because Marabella co-founded and co-led the group NU Students Demand Action for Gun Safety. That's right, Students Demand Action. One of the gun control groups, that is, well, let me show you. If you don't know what Students Demand Action is, Students Demand Action, a national advocacy group fighting gun violence with, get this, Everytown for gun safety. Yes, the gun control group, Everytown. The one that does literally everything they possibly can to take away your Second Amendment rights. It's extremely frustrating because these are the people that are supposed to be claiming that all gun violence is bad, and if you just give up your guns, then everything will be better, we'll all be safer. But then they turn around and they dance. They dance, making fun of Charlie Kirk, who was, might I remind you all, assassinated, shot with a firearm in front of his child, and in front of, well, the entire country, and the entire world at this point has probably seen that video, or at least the majority of it. And here you are dancing about it, and then saying, oh, well, I'm gonna be Erica Kirk next time. I'm not saying that I agree with everything Erica Kirk does. I'm not going to say that at all. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to get on the internet and publicly make fun of a widow who lost her husband in a very, very, very public assassination. Until there is like, but if she jumped on the gun control bandwagon, I will not be happy about it. But I'm not going to make fun of the fact that she's a widow of an assassination. Like, that's just, these people are just sick. But don't you worry, because she's part of Students Demand Action. She helped co-found a chapter, so couldn't be her, could it? This stuff is so frustrating to me. But there's another one. Students Demand Action co-founder joins more than 140 students across the nation to call for an end to gun violence. So here she is calling to end gun violence, and yet she's once again dancing to a song about Charlie Kirk. And it wasn't bad enough. It looks like she even typed in first to Kirk and Scrubs. So it's not just the fact that it was a dance and it was just music playing in the background. She is fully aware of what the music is saying, because if not, why would you type first to Kirk and Scrubs? Now, I know it's a trend, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and it's also very clear that social media might be warping the minds of our young adults and our children, because this is wild and unacceptable. But I digress. Take a look at this one. This is from Students Demand Illinois. That's right. It says, today, student leader Maribel Johnson were able to be with Governor Pritzker. Yep. As he signed HB 218 into law, holding gun manufacturers accountable. It goes on to say, thank you, Governor Pritzker, the Everytown Gun Sense Lawmaker of the Year. And this was posted in August 12th of 2023. It's really frustrating to me. And I know some of you are probably frustrated by it, and some of you may be like, Katie, this is a petty thing to cover. The reason I don't think it's petty is because these gun control people, the gun control groups, the Moms Demand Action, the Students Demand Action, Everytown for Gun Safety, Brady's, the Giffords. I understand that Gabby Giffords, something really bad happened to her, which is why she started doing this. So I understand why it started. At some point, you have to understand you can't put on gun control colored glasses and just assume that gun control is going to solve every problem when it's not. This chick is from Illinois. How many gun control laws are in Illinois? And you're telling me that gun control is the way to go? Go kick rocks with flip-flops. I don't know why I keep saying that. But anyways, now there is a follow-up. It says update. It says she's an activist. As you'd never guess, she co-founded and led the school's chapter of Students Demand Action and the gun safety. She also spoken at multiple vigils for victims of gun violence in Chicago. And it goes on to say, and here she is, eagerly jumping on the viral Doing the Kirk TikTok trend using audio tied to Charlie Kirk's assassination in a dance, mocking someone who died from gun violence. We all know it was assassination attempt, but they lumped everything that involves guns into gun violence. Yeah. Goes on to say, so guns are suddenly fine when they are used to silence people with opposing views. Typical and disgusting left-wing activist hypocrisy. He goes on to say, since I exposed her yesterday, she removed the video from her TikTok page and made her Instagram account private. She holds a Master of Public Health degree. Oh, that's rough. You got a master's? Why are you out here dancing if you got a master's? Some comments in here, there's a woman said, she's not a nurse, but worse, she's got an MPH. These are the people who create and implement the policies that improve population health and safety. People who advocate for gun safety, dancing to mock someone who died from gun violence. Now, which is another frustrating thing, because you guys remember last administration, we had a public health crisis. Gun violence was a public health emergency, right? It's people like this that are responsible for putting out stuff like that. Well, I mean, that and the Bidens, but that's beside the point. Now, I think you guys have heard me ramble enough, but I am going to make one last point. It is people like this that are responsible for public health and public safety, or they're going to in the future, or maybe she is now, I don't know. I'm not trying to make her lose her job. That's not why I'm here. This is for me to point out the hypocrisy of the gun controllers and the gun grabbers, because you say you want gun safety, you say you want to get rid of gun violence, you say you want this, you say you want that, but in reality, it seems like you don't actually care, because you don't care that Charlie Kirk got assassinated with a firearm in front of his child and the entire country. Do you not care at all, and you just want to wave this flag that just says that you're better than other people? I don't know. But I do know that hypocrisy is disgusting, and I'm getting really sick of it. Maybe, just maybe, you just stop being hypocrites, or just shut up and stop trying to take away the Second Amendment rights from the rest of the Americans. Because we the people do not feel like giving up our guns and giving up our freedoms so that people like you, who are dancing and mocking Charlie Kirk's death, can feel safe and secure. You're literally mocking a guy who got assassinated with a gun, and you think it's funny, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna dress up like Erica next. So cute, right? And then you are telling us that we need to give up our guns? I'm being so for real right now. But anyways, I've had enough thinking about this. I've got it all out. You guys have heard it. I want to hear your thoughts down in the comments, and I'm not going to think about it till I read them. Y'all have a great day.